Welcome, ICP fans, to a special weekend show after an amazing race down in Texas. Hey, Missy.
Hello, hello. Am I introducing?
Like always.
Okay. So joining us tonight, another return guest is Greg. Welcome back, Greg, or IndyCar Greg. Welcome back.
Hey, how's it going?
And new to the show, first timer, we have David. Welcome to the show, David.
You never forget your first time, and what a first time this is. Texas was crazy, and I can't wait to talk about it with you guys.
Well, and we're very humbled, and that you said yes to come on the show, being as though we don't know each other at all. No kidding, but I have a feeling that we are going to become fast friends after this, especially when we argue. No, I'm kidding. No.
I'm all up for an argument.
Well, the reason we have David on now, we set Dave. David and I set this up. What was it, about Thursday, Dave? I think, right?
Yeah, it was midweek at some point. Yeah.
Oh, well, Dave, why don't you tell the folks out there why we set this up? Like, this was kind of pre-planned before this historic race went down. Now, what historic about it will be, I don't know yet, but we'll get down to the bottom of it, maybe, or maybe not. But before we do that, the reason David's on, and hey, I'm glad he's on because we have a lot to go over. But go ahead, David.
Well, I think you guys commented on my. I have a YouTube channel. My name is David Land. You may or may not know who I am.
Sorry, I didn't want to throw out your last name. So.
No, it's on the channel, so it's out there.
So I didn't ask. Okay.
It's out there. Yeah, I have a YouTube channel.
Spell your last name because I think it's spelled a little bit. Is it Land?
It's Land.
Oh,
it's
okay.
very, very simple.
Okay.
It's like the ground.
Oh, right
You
on.
pour water on me, I turn into mud.
Right
But
on.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think
you become like a puddle.
yeah. Well, that's if you just pour a little too much water on me. That's if it rains a little too much, then I struggle a little bit, get some weepers going. But yeah, I think you guys commented on one of my YouTube videos.
Well, that was me. That wasn't Missy.
Oh, okay. So Frank commented on one of my YouTube videos, and that video was on the 2018 Dallara Aero Kit. And I did not have the most positive things to say about it. I'm a skeptical IndyCar fan. I have a show on my channel called the IndyCar Red Pill, and as
the
that
name,
would
by the way.
I know, as the name would suggest,
Now,
it
can
is.
I guess that it's a Matrix thing?
That's kind of it's like a meme. It's like a meme on the internet. The
Oh.
red pill, like taking the red pill, is kind of like looking at the world. It is based on the Matrix, even though I've never seen the Matrix. Fun fact. I know.
Well, you and Krista Hardy would get along great by not seeing any movie at all, apparently.
Well, I've seen lots of movies. I just haven't seen that particular one. But I do know
Oh, my
that
goodness.
the red pill is kind of taking. Seeing the world in as it is, I guess, and so I guess that's kind of what I wanted to call the IndyCar Red Pill because as a certain journalist says, a lot of times IndyCar takes the stance when they talk about things is everything is awesome, and as us IndyCar fans generally know, it not always is awesome. So that the show's kind of trying to get a different perspective out there. And I think that's the reason you wanted me on this show is for a different perspective. So I'm excited to give it.
You're 100% right, man. And, I always say to Missy a lot, and she probably gets tired of hearing the phrase, but I always say that if you get a bunch of people on that just agree with everything everybody says, it becomes really freaking boring. So getting a different perspective out there, and then, discussing it from, like a different lens, per se, or a different side of the fence, I think is interesting. So, and when I watched it, I'm like, all right, well-informed, well-spoken. Don't agree with him at all, but I respect his opinion 100%. And I'm of the mind if I can give my opinion, you can give yours, and and if you say bad things about my opinion, screw you because I'm entitled to it. So I can't say screw you because I don't agree with you, right? So
Oh,
and
absolutely.
that's the way I look at it. because this country's great and it lets me do that, right? So anyway, point being is, now, about how long is the video? It's about 6 or 7 minutes, right? Give or
I
take?
think so. I honestly just did it pretty much off the cuff. I just kind of had put some pictures up on the screen and just kind of put my thoughts out there. I kind of that's kind of how I do my videos generally. The most script I'll usually write is just jotting down notes. For that particular video, I really just wanted to talk about it, so I just put the pictures up and just kind of went through the car and just kind of talked basically my thoughts, and however long the video was, I think it was about 7 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too long. You very well informed. You know your history. You know your IndyCar. So that's where, I mean, I respected your knowledge and I respected your opinion. But like I said, Greg, myself, and Missy, we love the new car coming out. We can't wait to see it come out. Missy and I think, will be down in St. Pete for the first time in a few years now. So we're looking forward to it. And that's why we wanted you on tonight to talk about it. Leave you guys on a little cliffhanger there, because we're going to do that after we talk about some craziness that happened in Texas tonight, folks. That's right.
Where do you start?
Insanity.
How about the hashtag, Missy? What was the hashtag for this race?
This hashtag was RainGuard 600.
Which is hysterical to me, since the amount of just bashing of...
Well, before we get into it, I just want to say one thing on the fantasy note. If you had a driver, if all four of your drivers finished in the top 6, you're a freaking liar. That's all I gotta say. There is no way anyone had their driver finish in the top. All 4 drivers finished in the top 6 that were healthy cars that were running on the lead lap.
Yeah, and I'm going to say that 6 cars finished this
out
race.
of the 8 that finished.
No, see, I don't think it's 8. I think it's 6.
Well, right now they have it shown as
Connor
8.
Daly, and I saw, who was the other one? I saw
Max
Daly.
Chilton. Max
and
Chilton was still running, but he had a wing underneath his car, so.
Didn't he park it before the last lap, though?
I think he did. And for some
He
reason...
changed the wing.
Oh, they did? They
Yeah.
had enough time
But
to?
he's only
Okay.
listed as 245 laps completed, so.
Yeah, and Connor finished 247, so only 6 people finished on a lead lap. So just throw it out there.
Yeah.
No one
But they do
had any.
they do have Connor and Max finish.
Top 6.
Yeah, I mean, if somehow you had 4
The
guys...
miles per hour, if you were within 10, you're a freaking liar too.
Why? What was the average, Missy?
I have no idea, but there were so many cautions. There is no way anyone picked anywhere close to the average lap speed in this one.
Well, let's see. The winner's average lap speed was 140.491.
So
And
yeah,
that, oh, by the way,
But
the winner,
everybody's-
willpower,
y'all.
baby. That's right. Give it up for Will. He dominated this race. The only reason why he was not collected up in the many, many, incidents in this race is because he was in the lead. That's right. Because if he was anywhere but the lead, there is no doubt in my mind Will would have gotten collected up in the very first one. Because that's how Will's luck goes. So,
Tony won a second on the podium.
Yeah, TK, probably his most undeserved P2 in his career. He would agree, I think, judging
I see
by...
his car a lot in accidents that were happening.
I would say every one, Missy. And by the way...
Say everyone. I don't think he was anywhere near Elio.
Well,
It wasn't his fault.
that was why we got the competition cautions
Or
at the end. 'Cause of
Alexander
Firestone.
Rossi. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Firestone really missed the mark on this race, which is very rare for Firestone. I can't remember another race where, blistering tires, blowing up after 30 or so laps. That's why they made it 30 lap stints. Competition caution was for safety reasons only. Because basically after 30 laps, Firestone was like, well, they're going to blister to anything, and you saw what happened to Elio, because he was, I think, lap 35 into a stint, And
I think so.
and
And he reported a vibration too.
same.
Joseph Newgarden before him hinted at a vibration, but he stopped and got new tires. So I think he might have had an issue too, and that was Elio, you know.
He definitely had the issue because they showed the tire that they took off his car and the big old bubble on the sidewall, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, a lot. Yeah, the tire looked pretty bad.
Yeah.
And my apologies. Tony Kanaan was involved in Rossi's accident too. So,
So pretty much.
scratch that one. So Elio Castroneves, he wasn't involved in that one. But wait, I better double check the footage just to be sure.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, maybe he passed right by, probably. But I mean, he was even involved in the Sato thing. And Sato goes, "Yeah, I had nowhere to go, and I'm watching it. I'm like, yeah,
I totally disagree with that. He had plenty of room.
I know. Like
He wasn't. Yeah, there was good
It's-
2-3 feet in between them, so he had room not to hit the grass.
I just thought to myself, I said,
cut
no,
a little close.
you're just Takuma Sato, and this is expected of you. I mean, I can't believe you lasted this long. I mean, you won the Indy 500 and all. I can't believe it because he finished the race, but you know, yeah. Probably I don't know. I don't want to go. I'm going to save that conversation for Tuesday. This is just about Texas. So anyway, well, let's start from the beginning. I guess. I mean, does anybody disagree with me that this was a historic IndyCar race? This will go down in history. This race.
People are going to talk about it for a while. That's for sure. Whether it's a positive conversation or not, I
doubt
wonder.
that one. But well, for me, Missy, definitely positive because P1, baby. That's right. Billiam Power needed the points, and these 40 points, I believe, now, Missy, from first place now, I think.
Yeah, 40-41, something like that. Yeah.
Which, after the start of the season he's had, that's pretty amazing. So, good for Will. What'd you think about the race there, Greg?
It was wild. I mean, how else do you describe it?
I don't know. How, David?
I mean, it was Texas, right?
Yes,
we
it
kind
was.
of come
Yep.
to expect. We kind of come
One
to
of the
expect
50 states. Lower
crazy
48,
things to happen, right? It seems like it happens every year. There's always something to talk about. There's always some kind of controversy or some kind of excitement, and this race pretty much had it all. So,
and it was all like it had it all, right? It had drama, controversy. It had people mad at each other. It had emotions. Finally, right? I mean, we always kind of get on the drivers. Not always, but sometimes, like, can you please show a little bit more emotion? I mean, people get on Will's case for showing emotion, and every once in a while when he's got, something on his mind that's bugging him. But most people just play the PR, thing, and everything's cool and dandy or whatever. Felt terrible for Tristan. He had a great race going. I mean, call it up. I mean, he's subbing in for a sub who's subbing for Seb. So, I mean, but yeah, Tristan's a good friend of Missy and ours, so we've been texting back and forth ever since he got the call, and he's just so happy. He's been in Bloxpon, winning over there.
I'll tell you what, he was doing fantastic in this race too. I really was disappointed he got collected in that accident.
I was heartbroken for him, man, and he was gutted. I mean, for him, because he knew, like he even said it in the post, the interview, And by the way, everybody pretty much came away from all the incidents without any injuries, so that's a big plus. Big plus there. But he, you could just tell he was gutted, and but not for nothing. Everybody knows he had nowhere to go. It wasn't his fault. And qualifying P5 when he hasn't been behind the wheel of an IndyCar in about 2 years now. I mean, Rookie of the Year back in 2012, I think it was. he's just an all around great dude, great driver, doing great things in sports car and for IMSA and for the Blancpain Sprint Cup. So, it's just there's only so many seats, and next year there's going to be more seats open. So I really hope that Tristan turns some heads, and hopefully on some people's lists, Tristan went to the top of it this weekend, because I think he earned it.
It was nothing short of impressive.
No, definitely not. Definitely.
It really shows you that the engineering prowess that Dale Coyne now has at that team. Everybody who stepped in that 18 car has gone fast, completely. It's spectacular what that team's doing at the moment.
Oh yeah, and and how about Ed Jones? I mean, Ed Jones went from, he qualified poor. He didn't do too well, but he was really early on in qualifying there, and it just seems like, whoever qualified more towards the end just kept going faster and faster. When he was collected up in, both coin cars were collected up in that TK Hinge thing. That TK,
both Schmidt cars too.
Yeah.
Both Ed Carpenter cars.
Yeah. Let's see. I would say Ed Carpenter said the least amount of negative stuff,
which was shocking.
Yeah. You could tell he was mad because he, in mid-interview, started walking away. because I think he was saying to himself, if I don't get away from this microphone, I'm gonna start saying something I'm gonna regret. And I love how he said something like to the effect of, it's a shame that we didn't get the points we were hoping we could have got with this car. And I'm thinking to myself, what points, Ed? You race ovals. Why are you worried about championship points? We were talking about it, right, Missy?
Yeah.
We were talking about it last Tuesday with Christian. We always kind of dogged Dale Coyne and Ed last year for the last couple years about always having, one car was the championship car and the other car was the you make money with car. Hey, you got money and you're talented enough to race an Indy car and not put, people's lives at risk. Come on over. I'll take your money, right? And Ed, well, he's rich and I like ovals, so I'm going to do what I want to do, and whatever. Me personally, I think he needs to give it up. I think he's hurting Spencer Pigot's career, because once his contract's over, he's going to have a hard time getting a seat, since, people are going to be like, well, you have no oval experience, so why would I ever sign you to a full season, right? Even though he does have the talent, it's going to be a hard sell. That's all I'm saying. But he's not doing Spencer Pigot any justice by doing this. But however, if I had the money and if I was Ed Carpenter, I would do whatever I wanted. But right now, Ed Carpenter is the only car out on the grid right now that's not racing for the championship. He's just stealing points away from people who need them. And Coyne went and got, Sebastian Bourdais and Ed Jones, two great talents, and two championship cars, finally. So, we were talking about how Carpenter is the only car. And in his incident interview, he's talking about how, it's a shame they didn't get the points. What's he talking about? What points, Ed?
Maybe he was referring to J.R. Hildebrand.
Well, I could see him. The leader circle points, right, for the top points. 21, but there's only 21 full-time cars. So, I guess he's worried about Gabby Chavez. They've run two races. I'm sure they've probably scored more points than Charlie Kimball at this point. A top 5 and a top 10. Come on, pretty good.
Yeah, and not for nothing. And I couldn't, Missy amazed me a few times on my way home from work this week. I think one was Tristan got the coin ride, right? That was one, Missy. The other one was Tristan got P5. in quals, and then right after that, she floored me with a Kimball pole. I'm like, what? Who? Chuck Kimball got pole? What? How? Oh, he was like one of the last people to qualify. Yeah, okay, I got it.
It's a shame he had a mechanical issue in this race. I thought if he was staying in the front, like, he was doing good in the race, he might have avoided all those crashes and everything, and finished pretty decently.
No, he finished 21st, so he was.
He had a mechanical issue.
The only one.
Yes. Something happened. I don't know, they said oil was spilling, but they said it wasn't from the engine, I believe, so I don't know where it was coming from then, if it's not coming from the engine.
May have put a hole in the gearbox. That's kind of what I think it might have been.
Mm.
Or, I mean, he had some bad lobster last night, and he just couldn't hold it, and, I mean, it looks like oil when it comes out, but,
My point was, he looked really good in the beginning of the race, and he looked a little, he looked
Sick?
ready to fight he looked ready to fight for first place. So, I mean, if he wouldn't have that mechanical issue, I mean, I think he would have had a good shot to finish,
Well, think about it.
if not finish top 5.
I'll pose you this question. If he didn't have a mechanical issue, would 6 cars have finished? Maybe 3?
Will Power definitely wouldn't have if Watkins Glen was
yeah. Yeah, I can't argue that.
That's right. I know, because, Will wouldn't have won, obviously, because, Will and Chuck get near each other, and Chuck's taking him out.
Yeah, Parks go
Graham
flying.
wouldn't have finished. I mean, he's taken out Graham a couple times.
Yeah.
So Graham wouldn't have finished either.
Yeah, that's 2.
And, hey, not for nothing, but what's the Sato love from Graham through the to his engineer?
That was weird. That was just weird.
Wasn't it? I'm like, who is this guy? Like, I mean, I know who he is personally. What you see on TV and all, that's TV, Graham. Behind the wheel, that's behind the wheel, Graham. And then all the other time, that's, yeah. So I was blown away by what he said. It was very positive, and yeah.
Well, my favorite line from this is going to be James Hinchcliffe and his "That's adorable."
Yeah.
That's going to be my favorite line from this. I'm gonna go around saying that lately. The rest of this week. That's adorable.
I think Chip Ganassi is the only guy in the world right now that thought James Hinchcliffe was the cause of that entire incident, when it's blatantly obvious TK, and you can go to our Twitter. Missy has every incident, every restart on video right there on Twitter for you guys. And where can they find that at, Missy?
Well, that would be our website, www.theindysportscarpodcast.com, specifically on our Twitter, at ISCP podcast, 2 Ps.
Yep. So, yeah, it's so blatant. I mean, does anybody else want to describe this?
TK was a wrecking ball. just absolute carnage followed Tony Kanaan all day.
I mean, if people were crashing, TK was causing it. I mean, I have never seen TK.
He was in the vicinity.
This was probably the worst race I've ever seen TK race in my life, and the man has a lot under his belt, and I have the utmost respect for TK. Everybody does. And
to be fair, he did get penalized. He got to stop and go.
He got
two I think
penalties.
he got
20
3 waiver rounds.
Yeah.
So it completely
he got 20
negated the penalty.
seconds
And he finishes P2.
Yeah.
You can thank the waiver round rule and the competition cautions for that, unfortunately.
That's true. It did work to his... I mean, Mikel Alishin called him an idiot.
That was great. He was the only one who kind of halfway swore. I was disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, racing with idiots out there. We all know who he meant. James, I think, will come down with the best one. Yeah, it's just
Well,
Chip said that
But you know what? James got no room to throw stones either because the pit lane incident was all him. I don't know what he. I
he
mean,
did
he
apologize
just.
for that.
Oh yeah, I get it. Yeah, he totally lost control and took out. It was Elio and Sato.
Yeah, and
But Sato didn't need any help. James, thanks for trying though.
yeah, if there's one person that does not need help to crash. Yep. Do you think Sato has like a personal goal to crash at every track he's ever raced at least once?
He's got to have already achieved that, right?
Well, I'm looking
Yeah, I
forward
guess
to Gateway.
He hasn't crashed at Gateway yet.
Yeah. That's what I said to Missy. I was like, I'm really looking forward to Gateway because we'll be there, and Sato's definitely crashing there. I mean, he can't miss his opportunity because who knows if we'll, I mean, we are going back there next year, but who knows if Sato will be in the car next year? You don't know. I mean, Andretti is, I don't know.
Sato will be somewhere. He's the Japanese driver who won the Indy 500 in a Honda. He will be somewhere next year.
Agreed.
That's true because team owners love money. Speaking of team owners, never saw a team owner walk out onto a pit lane during a red flag and yell at probably one of the most respected IndyCar drivers, in the field right now at TK. And amazingly enough, the two videos that are doing the most traffic right now on our Twitter, Missy, is number one, the TK into everybody video, and then the second one, Dale Coyne walking over and giving TK the business.
you sure he wasn't inviting him to dinner?
He might have been saying good luck the rest of the race.
Yeah, I think TK's paying if they're going to dinner anytime soon.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, just ask them how the kids are. No, that was not pleasantries. Not pleasantries. But how about TK's speech at the end there? Huh? I mean, yeah.
He owned up to it, I guess.
He kind of had to.
I mean, I do believe he's not trying to wreck anybody, but I think he might have been a little over aggressive multiple times.
just a bit.
Multiple. A bit. I stress multiple times.
I know.
I might have to name him. I don't know. I might have to come up with a name for him. His evil twin. So I'm gonna have to come up with something for him.
Tony Cannon.
There you go. That's
there you go.
Trying to kill everyone. I mean.
Hey, I guess when you're in a series for 20 years, you're bound to have a bad race somewhere.
This was his 18th start at Texas.
Is that the most?
No. This was the 20th for Elio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the most. Well, he's got it. Well, I don't know if that's
our
the
fans
most.
He's not too far
one.
behind.
What's that, Missy?
I said our fans should know the answer to that one. That was all on the Lowdown show.
Missy's track facts, ba-doom-doom. Yeah, they were great this week. Yeah, it made me change my lineup. Halfway through it.
I enjoy this race. I enjoy a lot of the camera angles. There were some great camera angles. I assume they're all are they all GoPros? I don't know what they are on the cars.
What on top of the roll hoop?
Yeah.
No, they're not GoPros. I don't know what they are, but they're
doesn't matter what kind of
expensive.
camera they are. They're awesome cameras. Because when I think the best one was Hinch coming out of the pits and all those cars flying up behind him. Wow, that was It reminded me of the Jurassic Park movie, must go faster, must go faster.
Well, with the T-Rex in the rearview mirror.
Yeah. Because you're looking at behind James Hinchcliffe's car, and you see all these cars just flying up, to the side, both sides going on sides. It's just like must go faster, must go faster.
I got an idea for a meme with that. Objects in this video are closer than they appear. There you go. I like that. So I have some recordings here. I don't even know. It's just after talks of people of I mean, so many incidents. I don't even know how to describe it, but I made sure to get a whole lot of them. They're not, they're not labeled or anything. I didn't have any time for it, but so I don't know. Missy, do you want to just do a rundown real quick of who finished where? Do you have that up?
Yeah, I have that up.
Okay.
So as we stated, Will Power was your winner,
Woo.
followed by Tony Kanaan and Simon Pagino to round out the podium. Then you had Graham Rahal, Gabby Chavez, Marco Andretti. Look at that, Marco. He stayed out all that junk. Then it's up for the debate. Well, those are the finishing on the lead lap, I should say. There you go. Those were the only ones that finished on a lead lap.
6 cars out of 22.
Yeah, so 6 cars. So then you had Connor Daly was 1 lap down, and then you had Max Chilton was 3 laps down. And then you had Scott Dixon, followed by Takuma Sato. And then you had Ed Carpenter, J.R. Hildebrand, Joseph Newgarden, James Hinchcliffe, Mikel Aloshin, Tristan Vautier, Ed Jones, Carlos Munoz, Ryan Hunter-Reay, Elio Castroneves, Charlie Kimball, and Alexander Rossi was your finishing order. And all of those were by contact except for Charlie Kimball, who was mechanical.
Did Newgarden take anybody out with him when he hit the wall?
No.
No.
It almost did.
Yeah, almost, yeah.
I mean, he goes 3 wide through. I mean, now I don't. The home ultra team. They do great work. Okay, they're Johnnies on the spot. They saved Hinch's life. Why did they leave so much oil dry on the track? Come on. I mean, it was obvious that this track had so much grip everywhere that you could go 3 wide everywhere. Why on earth would they leave that much oil dry on the third line on the backstretch? I mean, I don't want to talk any crap on the home ultra guys that I'm not, but come on, guys. That was a big fail.
I'm wondering if it was a miscommunication because I noticed that there didn't seem to be a sweeper up there, and they were probably thinking that a sweeper was going to go through there, and so that probably got miscommunicated somehow.
That was the fascinating thing to me about this whole race was that, as far as I'm aware, 3 and 4 was not reconfigured at all, right? In the reconfiguration of Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
It was just 1 and 2.
So it was exactly the same as last year. And last year we saw 3 and 4 wide in that corner last year. And this year, the first guy that tried it, at least to my knowledge, in 3 and 4 3 wide, goes into the wall. So it's weird that there was that big of a change just from paving the track in 3 and 4 from last year.
Yeah, I mean, maybe miscommunication. I mean, it could have been that simple, but I mean, I'm sorry, but and then it was what was really weird is it's because Joseph was making moves like that because it was right after that they had announced all of a sudden competition caution and I know, everybody calm down, especially what the freak is his name, the one brave soul over there who thinks he's a driver.
It was Kyle Larson.
That's it, him. I didn't even know who he was until I saw the tweet. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, it sounds like a driver of whatever. But he tries. It wasn't very witty. But I mean, he would know how to spot it right away, I suppose. I don't know, Greg. Do you know what the tweet said exactly, or like around about? Because I even forget what the tweet even said, but it was definitely a cheap shot.
Something about you'd rather put up with NASCAR than.
It says we may have some questionable calls in NASCAR every once in a while.
What?
But I am glad we don't
race?
have the politics IndyCar has on a nightly basis, was his quote.
That right there should just give you just the caliber of participants in that dying series.
Look at it this way. He does come from the series that gave birth to the competition caution. So,
Wait, yeah, they sat down there in their big table and came up with it and drew it up and put it in the rule books that it's going to happen every race no matter what. IndyCar goes, oh crap, we got how many
An
laps
actual
left?
problem.
Yeah, we have a huge problem here. I think we have close to like 80 laps left. There's 11 cars left. We need to take control of this situation to make sure that we don't lose any more because Firestone's tire is like huge hashtag fail. After 30 laps, pretty much Firestone told them after 30 laps, these things are degrading like we've never seen, blistering, and they're going to explode. So bring them in at 30 to, for safety reasons only. And I believe it was a smart call by IndyCar. What do you guys think?
I'm going to go against the grain if you don't mind. Sorry, Greg, to cut you off.
It's fine.
Right ahead.
As I think we'll find out later in this podcast, is that I'm a bit of a racing purist, and I'm not a big fan of competition cautions.
No,
I'm definitely a fan of letting the teams figure out stuff. I think a lot of the really heavy wear on the tires seem to be coming from one team in particular. A certain team that has had this problem in the past, if we remember Phoenix 2016, with tires and potentially pushing them a little too hard, even though we have not seen or heard anything about that.
Team Penske.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we saw the name slipped my mind. I understand why they went with it. But in my observation, I would almost say packing the cars together for a bunch of restarts may have led to more crashed cars than if they had just left the race green. Maybe I saw somebody, I don't remember where it was, but make the suggestion that they should have perhaps kept it green but kept the mandatory pit stops to spread the field out a little bit and not have those restarts where we saw so much calamity. But it is what it is. I wasn't a big fan of the call, but again, when it's safety, it's
Yeah, like would you agree? And I think would be the case if there was more than 11 cars left with almost 100 laps left to go. They wouldn't have done that. They probably would have sent a team-wide instant message saying Firestone is recommending after 30 laps huge degradation, tire degradation on the right side tires. So go past 30 at your own peril, but we don't recommend it. I think they would have went that far, but because there was 11, come on. I mean, the way this race was going, I've never heard of a race ending early because everybody crashed. But I think if they didn't do something like what they did, to try to at least not have people crashing because the tires were blistering so bad they were pretty much exploding, like what happened to Elio and what was going on.
I think it was only Team Penske though. I thought when they took off, I thought it was Graham Rahal when they took off his tire. So I thought he had some blistering on it. Not as bad as the one tire they showed, but I thought he had a little bit. They were looking at one little spot.
I think it was.
I think everybody had blistering, but I think Team Penske's was by far and away the most severe. You were seeing cords for.
I think it was Elio and Joseph Newgarden because they felt the vibrations. I think is what.
Now, did Elio's crash for sure caused by a tire? Because I'm pretty sure I heard Townsend Bell speculate that it was due to the pit lane accident more than it was due to a tire. We never had a confirmation whether.
I wouldn't think so because.
Consider the source.
Well, I wouldn't think because I thought this happened quite a few laps afterwards. I don't think there was anything because he came back in for a pit. Because they pushed him back to his pit stall because he wasn't that far from his pit stall. So I believe they did the necessary. What's the word I'm looking for? Fixed his car at that point when they
gotcha.
pushed him back. And I thought this happened quite a few laps later, but because I think Joseph Newgarden mentioned vibrations and they came in and changed his tires, and I think a couple laps after that, Elio said something about vibrations, and then not long after that he crashed.
Yeah, and I just remember the camera guy walking down, behind the engineering stands and everything, after I think it was the second stint, and you just seen like, they had all the tires stacked up, the old tires, and every team, all the right tires, they were all blistered to nothing. I mean, every team was experiencing it, and you're right. Penske always. They're notorious for, the way they set up their car for massive G loads on the right side. I guess, but I don't think
Unless
Firestone.
Will and Simon had a different setup, because it
Yeah,
didn't seem to bother them at all.
yeah, but then again, Will and Simon, I think, have a much different racing style than Joseph and Elio. That's for sure.
Yeah.
No four cars are the same. Some like them, loose or tight or whatever. But at any rate, but yeah, I mean, Firestone, because Firestone have their techs there, and they inspect every tire that comes off of every car, and they pretty much gave it a 30 lap lifespan before danger, and we seen what could happen. So I think that was just IndyCar, trying to at least take one variable off the table of what could possibly happen to keep the remaining 11 on the track racing for the next 80 laps that were left, because that was a lot of cars gone pretty quick. So, yeah, I mean, because if you look at how many laps were done, I mean, it's just it's a whole lot of, I mean, oh boy. I mean, we got like 36, 41, 90, 151, 151, 151. I wonder what instant that was. So lap 151 is when TK decided he was going to try to take the whole field out. And then, 201 was Newgarden. 215 was JR's mullet. 224 Ed. 243. Yeah, and apparently every single incident I just mentioned, TK caused, except for Sato, apparently, at 243, but the leaders went 248. So
I just noticed they have JR listed as running. Did he come back out?
Yes,
You know,
both the
I was
Carpenter
gonna say,
cars
I
did.
think they fixed, because I know they did show the one. I thought it was Ed cars they showed that they were able to fix, but I guess obviously they were able to fix JR's too.
Oh, I missed that one.
they got Ed here at 220. That's weird. Yeah, 224, but contact. They don't have him as running. They only have JR Hildebrand as running. Unless I have.
I think he retired the car early to give JR the points because he's running for the full season.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
But he finished ahead of JR, so that didn't.
Yeah, so
Oh, he
that didn't
did?
help. Yeah,
Oh,
that didn't
I-
help.
Yeah.
I wonder if
Well, then,
maybe
whoops,
because
Ed.
he's listed here with Sato and Dixon. I wonder if when that crash happened, if he just pulled in.
Yeah, I just hit the refresh just to make sure, and Ed Carpenter and J.R. Hildebrand. We contact Ed Carpenter, J.R. Hildebrand running. So yeah, weird. But 180 laps led willpower. Tony Kanaan led one. And,
Win.
he led one lap and made sure no one else could.
Yeah.
The only other drivers that did was Max Chilton for 8 laps, Scott Dixon for 12. And I'll tell you what, man, Dixon and Power were battling it out up in the front, boy. That was some good old-fashioned rival racing right there. That was fun. I got to tell you.
Classic
right there.
Texas.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just classic IndyCar. I mean, Toronto comes to mind. Mid Ohio comes to mind. Yeah, I mean, Dixon and Power have been going at each other for years now, and watching them go at it up at the front of Texas, it was just wonderful to see. Because two just top level drivers, battling it out, man. It was a lot of fun. But here comes Sato right through the freaking grass for no reason, and just takes Dixon right out. Hey, hey guys, I learned something new from Tony Kanaan. Watch this. Oh God.
Well, how about Joseph Newgarden trying to pit one lap earlier than when the caution was coming out, and then Tim Cedric saying they didn't tell us there was going to be a competition caution. I really find it hard to believe that you were the only one that didn't know about this.
Yeah, they confirmed the instant message to every team owner, every engineer, everybody knew. He was like, well, they said 30 laps. They didn't say, like, this lap we're going to come in, and this lap, and this lap. So apparently Tim Cindric doesn't know how to count 30 from what lap he is.
I thought it was pretty self-explanatory. In 30 laps, there will be a competition caution, and everyone must pit for tires.
Yep.
Sounds pretty clear to me.
Apparently, Tim thought he could just do it whenever he wanted, and as long as they did it within 30, he was safe. But I guess, I mean, no, well, yeah, I mean, where does Austin Cindric race now? Is he still racing ARCA?
Trucks, I think. Trucks
He's
now.
in trucks.
Yeah, so, Tim Cindric is very, very, very well aware of what a competition caution is.
Yeah.
I mean, his son's racing in the birthplace of it. Because, if I'm not mistaken, didn't the Truck Series test it out first? And then
caution clock.
Yeah, they had the caution clock.
That's even worse.
Boy, that was so stupid. Especially the name. It's like, I mean, how much more blatant can you get? It's like they didn't even try to disguise it.
Well, I mean, that series, I mean, the whole series with everything they're doing, I just keep saying, for some reason we still have fans. What can we do to finally make them realize that, if you're a racing fan, this isn't for you, because that's not what we're going for, apparently.
Well, I think what they're going for is they had a taste of mainstream success in the 2000s after a certain very popular driver met his demise. They had a taste of that mainstream audience, and they really wanted to bring the NFL kind of numbers in every week. So let's make it like football.
But
so they settled for WWE.
It's WWE.
Right idea.
With WWE with tire pressure.
Yeah. I mean, hey, they do have 4 quarters now, right?
But hey, let's connect the dots. When did that series get a whole big audience? Oh yeah, it's when this series did the most ridiculous thing they could have ever done and split. And then all the fans went, big middle finger to both of yous, and they went to NASCAR. I'm sorry, I almost said it. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
I call myself.
Uh-oh.
Call myself.
Let the record show we made it about 50 minutes into an IndyCar show without mentioning the split.
Yeah.
Is that a new track record?
We don't actually mention it at all ever. Because it's one of those things where you try to blank it out of your memory and you just don't ever talk about it.
And I wasn't an IndyCar fan at the split, so.
No, Missy became an
It
IndyCar
never happened
fan.
if you don't ask about it.
Exactly, because hey, as far as I'm concerned, IndyCar was great. I remember back in the early '90s, late '80s, early '90s was my when Little Al beat Scott Goodyear in 1992. That's when I became a huge IndyCar fan. When I was I was 9, I suppose. And then when they split, I was like, screw you guys, I'm whatever. But then Surfer's Paradise at the end of both both of those series, that whatever they may, IRL car, whatever. They came back together. That's that. I look at it like from right before that happened to Surfers Paradise, I kind of joined them together, and everything that happened in between, like all of Sebastian's, championships against not really great, talented drivers, it just never really happened.
It is interesting you mentioned that about Sebastian Bourdais. Especially in his last season, you look at the field there, and yeah, there were some serious wankers, to use a willpower word. But if you look at it, a lot of the guys running at the front nowadays were running back then. You got like Simon Pagenaud and Will Power, and
sure.
They were rookies, but they were there.
That was off the tail end right there. I mean, and Will, that was just luck because of I wouldn't say luck, but I mean, he wasn't even a full timer. He wasn't even a part timer. He was a stand-in, and someone got injured, and he was there, and he made the most of it. And then, what was it? The Team Australia, Derek Walker, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Aussie Vineyards.
Oh, man, that's a throwback.
And thanks to Adrian schooling me, because I thought Derek Walker was Australian since he was the owner of Team Australian, or whatever. Yeah, the Australian team.
Aussie Vineyards.
Whatever, but. And I know he was Scottish. So, yeah, Adrian corrected me on that on one show, and I felt stupid. But normally when Adrian's on, that happens once every 5 minutes, I'd say. Right, Miss? About that?
Yeah, it happens frequently.
Yeah, very frequently. Yeah, Adrian's a smart dude. Me? I'm pretty smart, I think. Anyway, I'm smart enough to know that this race, we watched a historic race tonight, fellas and fellettes. That sucked. Anyway, we watched an amazing race. It had everything. It'll go down in history. For what? I don't know yet. What it'll go down in history for. Maybe it'll go down in history for TK's worst race ever, or worst race ever
for a passing record.
That too, or how many?
Because at one point they tweeted out that Joseph Newgarden had 57 passes already before he crashed.
Well, it's easy to pass cars when they're stopped, on fire.
Well, you can only pass them one time. He did 57 of them.
Well, there was a lot of times there was cars on fire. Just sitting there for him to pass. There's that grace period where it happens and then they throw the yellow, and Joseph was just there in the sweet spot. Like, whoa, what happened? Oh, a yellow. All right, I just passed 12 cars. So, oh no, now I'm one of them. So, yeah, but poor Joseph, he tried to go 3 wide and paid for it, but they were going 3 wide the whole race. So, but hey, Tim Cindric tried to play. I'm so happy he's not Will's engineer anymore. I mean, how many races did Tim just screw up for Will in the past with his dumb pit strategies from the front of the freaking?
I don't know. I thought that a couple times at the beginning of this year with his new one.
Well, it's growing pains, and Will is the unluckiest driver that's ever existed, as far as yellows go when he's trying to pit or whatever. I still, to this day, have no idea how Pagenaud won Phoenix the way he did when Will was leading, when everything went down. But I guess it was that 25 feet right before he entered pit lane that did it, but I thought the yellow was already out, so I don't know. Who
I'm still confused that they said everybody was on the lead lap, but Simon Pagenaud was the lap ahead of everybody, so I'm still confused about that.
That was literally a sentence.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm still confused about it. Like, how can you tell me everybody's a lap down,
Except for
but everybody's
Simon.
on the except for Simon Pagino, but everybody's on the lead lap?
Yeah.
No, they're not. How is that possible?
It's like somebody saying, everybody's running right now, but there's 6 cars only finished. Like, what? No. But it wouldn't make any sense. I don't know. David, what do you think? What's your thoughts on Phoenix there at Pagino and all that? How all that went down?
Phoenix. I would say it wasn't as bad as people kind of said it was.
I was hoping you were going to say that. Yep.
Yeah, I thought it was a better show than 2016 was. I mean,
I'll give it that. I will give it that.
That's
2016 was a dumpster fire.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's about all you can give it. People could pass, which is more than you could say about 2016. You saw J.R. Hildebrand and a couple others able to make passes, but I mean, the new Phoenix and Indy cars have not really gelled all that well, kind of like we kind of expected them to. Anytime
I don't mean.
No, go on.
I'm sorry.
Go on. No, go on.
Well,
No.
I mean, did you see the proposal of them moving the start-finish line and they're building a new? Basically, it's after you go through turn 1, that straightaway between turn 1 and turn 2, they're relocating the start-finish line to create more passing zone, to create more straightaways. So when they come around turn 1, which will essentially be turn 3 or 4, however they call that turn, since it looks like a tri-oval to me, but they still say there's 4 turns there. I don't know how. Because
essentially what they're doing is making a high banked Nazareth. That's essentially what they're creating in Phoenix now. It's pretty much the same layout.
Now, and Nazareth was my first race I ever went to.
Oh, lucky. The only time I've been to Nazareth was early 2016, I think, or 2017. I can't remember. I think it was last year. Yeah, early 2016. And obviously,
so what'd you buy at the Nike store?
yeah, I know, right? There's like a Dollar General in Nazareth now, and that's the only thing there. It's amazing how much of the town of Nazareth is just the racetrack.
That doesn't exist anymore. It's not there.
Yeah,
it's like there's a plaque. This was where once Nazareth stood.
I'm
there
amazed.
There is still an entry sign, so you can still go see an entry sign.
Is there?
Yeah. There's one over by the cornfields. I actually took a selfie over there.
Right on.
So with it, I don't know if they've taken it down, because I know right around the time that I had gone there, which was January of 2016, they had just sold to some land developer or farmer or something like that, who's done nothing with the property, from what I understand. But it's you'd think its days are numbered, but it's there. It still sits.
No, it was my first ever IndyCar race. Yep. I remember that very well. And and there's a cement silo across the street.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I will tell you the interesting thing about Nazareth is you go over to the parking lot and they keep it mowed, and they keep the dumpster, or not the dumpsters, the waste baskets over there. It looks like, if you just look at the parking lot, it looks like they're ready for a race weekend. They just need to put the trash cans out in the rows. But yeah, it's a weird place. It's very sad, because I think Nazareth is at least one of my favorite ovals. I love playing that in sim racing, doing that in R Factor, or doing it over on IndyCar 2005.
I remember.
Just a fantastic track.
Yep, I remember back then racing in Nazareth. Yep.
That was a great place.
Yeah, I mean, I wish it still existed, because that would be another race we could go to that we wouldn't have to drive 16 hours to, Missy. I mean, because we're from the Philly area, so that's why. Yeah. Where are you hailing from there, Dave?
Right now, I'm in New Jersey. So.
Right on.
Yeah.
What part?
Oh God. Oh, Long Branch, over on right next to the water.
North or south?
Oh Lord, I don't know. I don't know my Jersey geography very well.
North of Trenton or south of Trenton?
I don't know. I wish I knew. I do know Trenton. I've
Okay,
been over there where
LBI or Atlantic City?
I think closer to Atlantic City. I'm closer to Newark. So like I'm closer to New
You're
York
north.
City. Yeah, north.
You're way north. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you see the New York skyline from there?
I cannot. I'm sure if I could drive about 10 miles, I could probably see it. But I'm a native Hoosier. I'm just kind of out here at the moment.
Why? Are you
Because
here?
I am poor. I am a poor post-college student, and this is where my family lives.
Right on.
That's how that works.
Yeah, Missy and I are desperately trying to get the heck out of here.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I spent the whole month of May at Indianapolis. I don't know if you guys did too.
Just the GP weekend.
Unfortunately, not.
Oh, really? Wow. That's well. Then
my mother lives in Tampa, and she decided she was going to come. Well, no, her, not her husband, but might as well be his daughter wedding, and whatever. It was that weekend, and she's in Tampa, and the whatever. So I don't get to see her too much. So, yeah. So I picked mom over going to the Indy 500. So I was a good son, I guess.
Hey, yeah, I always feel so bad in the month of May because not only does Mother's Day fall in the month of May, but my mom's birthday is always on race weekend.
Oh,
so I always
no.
feel bad that I kind of neglect it a little bit every year. But it's kind of a running joke at this point between me and my mom. Is like my mom will come up to me and say, "Hey, David, is there anything important happening this weekend?" I'll go, "Yeah, I think the race is this weekend."
The 500, Ma.
Yeah.
Oh. That reminds me of like last weekend, Missy. You remember? Oops. Yeah, because I kept. Okay, so I was kind of playing with the idea of going to Detroit. Jordan Bernlohr, who comes on the show a lot. He was on last week actually. He races for Trans Am in the TA2 class, number 77. And he was begging us to come to Detroit, I was thinking about it, and she's like, and Missy kept telling me, like, no, we have plans that weekend. She kept giving me this look, and I'm like, what? And she's like, the baby shower, right? Baby shower. I'm like, what? I'm not going to a baby shower. She's like, yes, you are. If I got to go, you got to go, right? Because it's my cousin. So I'm all mad. I'm thinking I'm going to a baby shower. She had me going, man, but what she was referring to was our wedding anniversary.
Oh no!
And I was
Whoops.
more concerned about being PO'd about going to a baby shower. And then I was like, oh yeah, it's the 3rd, right on June 3rd.
Oh,
Wedding
no.
anniversary, 11 years. Love you, Missy. And she was kidding with me the whole time. I wasn't going to a baby shower. Yeah, she was just messing with me. Like, I thought it was odd that she would choose a baby shower over going to a race because that's not like her. But I was like, okay. And I was getting really depressed about it. And then I was really just felt like a schmuck because yeah, she was really referring to the wedding anniversary. So yeah, but that's pretty normal with me, yeah, pretty normal, right, Miss? I mean, were you shocked?
Not at all.
See what I mean?
Ooh.
But hey, it's been 17 years and she's still with me, so yeah, it's okay. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, what was I thinking?
Gray Camaro. That 68 Camaro was nice. You're right.
Anyway.
I got the girl. That's right. Then I put a ring on her finger, locked her up. Great health insurance. Yeah. She's a nurse. Well, come on. Anyway, moving on. No, I love her a lot. Anyway, so, that's very.
That was Texas.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Anything else to mention, Texas? I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't know, Greg. Anything else that sticks out that we haven't touched on?
I believe the average speed for the race was 140.491.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I don't want to hear any of you talking about, oh, I got a tiebreaker. None of yous were even close.
I was 189 something. Yeah, 189 or no, something like that. 180s. I was thinking 2 cautions, maybe 3. What was yours, Missy? Like 190 something, I think.
I think I had like 190.120.
Yep, and we probably have a lot of new listeners this weekend, I'm sure, because social media went nuts. Missy's videos went absolutely bonkers with the views. A lot of the new faces, a lot of new follows, a lot of new follow backs. So hopefully we got a lot of new listeners. So, basically, I did have a point to all that, and I lost it.
Join ISCP Rivals.
There, thank you, Greg. You're awesome. See, that's why IndyCar Greg, everybody on Twitter.
Which I cannot believe, but I'm looking at the standings.
And what are they?
Someone has got to have his highest career finish ever.
Me?
You finished second, Frank.
What?
With 102 points, you finished second.
What? Well, I had Will because I always have Will, and I had Tristan because that's my boy right there.
Will is the only driver you had that finished.
What?
He had Will, Dixon, Hunter Ray, and Vodier.
Then I gotta be first.
You are...
Yeah, I had 2. I had 2 that finished in second and fourth, I think.
You are 6th.
What? Are you serious? Will Power is the only one that you finished, and I finished 6th? That is ridiculous. There's no way.
The only one you had that finished, or no, because Kanan finished second, and then you had Graham Rahal, but Chucky and Elio both didn't finish.
Bite the dust. Do. Missy's lineup bite the dust. But Frank's did worse. Frank's did worse.
It's canceled. It's official.
And if you're wondering who won this week, it was Ethan with 128 points. He picked Power, Kanan, Hinchcliffe, and Hildebrand.
So he had 2 out of 4, but he had Power. Good pick, Ethan. That's right. Ethan's a great loyal listener, and proud to have him on. That, by the way, guys, that's ISCP Rivals in the public leagues. That's hashtag Indy Rivals. Just go to IndyCar.com, go to Fantasy, search ISCP Rivals, and join up. And before every race weekend on Thursday night, we have Lowdown for the Showdown presented by Missy Links. And for the rest of the season, also with Christian. Christian. Yeah. Good guy. Well, really good guy. Missy, do you remember his last name?
Alieso.
No, it's not it.
Alieso.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Alieso.
yeah, I guess we're going to go through that again before Road America.
Oh, I got it. It's Alieso.
Are you sure? It doesn't sound
Yes.
right. I don't know. Hey, Greg, does that sound right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll go with it.
It sounds close enough. I'll say that.
I don't know, Greg. I mean, what do you think about Christian? You think he's a good addition? I think he fits him rather well.
Yeah, he did good.
Yeah. What did he do with his lineup?
I'm trying to find his lineup.
Oh,
I was talking about the show.
That's not good.
Get on the show.
No. That's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant. So that's good. That's good to know. It's good to hear that the listeners are enjoying Christian. I'm getting some good feedback from him. I mean, the man has a great radio voice. Am I wrong? Or yeah, I'm right. I said that backwards, didn't I? I'm supposed to say, am I right? Or no, that doesn't sound right either.
So anyway,
ISCP After Dark, guys. All right. Never know what you're going to get on ISCP After Dark. But it's definitely not going to be the usual. Yep. And tomorrow when Adrian's listening to this, I'm going to get, every 5 minutes a DM. play-by-play of him listening to this. I always look forward to it. Yep. Not a segment that IndyCar UK is hugely fond of, Greg, but you know what? I love it. A lot, but yeah, a lot of people love it because hey, it's different, you know. But I mean, you know, and Dave's new to the show, and you know, he's new to listening to the show, and I'm new to his channel, so I'm gonna be checking that out more. But yeah, you know, we record every Tuesday. We normally have a guest on with Missy and I. It's usually a driver, and more times than not from the MRTI paddock. We're huge fans of MRTI. And I heard you talking about Indy Lights, so sounds like you're very familiar with it as well, if I'm not mistaken. So, am I right about that?
Ooh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm familiar with it. I think you probably watched the Bandwagoner's Guide to the Freedom 100, I'm guessing.
I've only watched the one video of yours so far.
Oh my gosh.
Well, there's a lot of Game of Thrones YouTube videos out there that I got.
No, believe me, I understand. Believe me, I understand. There's a lot of content out there. It's very competitive. But yeah, yes, I actually did a video for the kind of previewing the Freedom 100. So I know some of the names and faces. Try to keep up with it as best I can because I do know that a lot of those guys usually end up in IndyCar racing.
Oh yeah, and by now at this point, you know, November will be our 3-year anniversary of starting the show. Pretty much everybody in MRTI has been on the show at least once, if not 4 or 5 times by now. So, I mean, we've had Oliver Askew on 3 times now. We had him on before the season even started, just to welcome him to the family because MRTI is one big family, man. I love the paddock. I love the drivers in it. Great talents, great personality. IndyCar's got a bright future ahead of them with the talent coming up through MRTI, I must say. You can take the top, 6, 7 drivers in the championship of Indy Lights, and they could be IndyCar drivers right now, you know. So, the Freedom 100, okay, it wasn't a photo finish for, for P1 because Lease just dominated from pole to podium, but you got to give it to, Aaron Telus for making the move of the race the last, 50 feet, you know. That was a great move to get P2, you know.
I was quite impressed with Telitz. Quite impressed.
Yeah, and Telitz. I mean, we've had him on the show, of course, last year during towards the end of the season. We've had Pato on a lot more, but and the whole him and Pato thing for Telitz to kind of win. I thought that wasn't really nice of him to do to his teammate. But racing's racing. I doubt he did it on purpose. Somebody might disagree with me on that. But needless to say, he's been proven that he's got the talent to do well in Indy Lights. Better than most. So, good, and it's always nice to see a Mazda Soul Red livery on the podium because Mazda does a lot for all 3 series. So, and Oliver Askew right now is really making the that Soul Red livery, very, I guess, in the, in what do they call that? So the winner's circle a lot, so that's good. He's doing things in USF 2000 that you just do not see, I mean, and USF 2000, I mean, we thought the talent pool last year was deep. This year it's even deeper, so good God. But, and also just on a side note, just want to throw it out there, Parker Thompson, great win today from not pole. I think he got P2 in qualifying, but it was the F1600 class over in the Villeneuve track in Canada where the F1's racing at. So congratulations to Parker Thompson. Really needed that win. He's racing for exclusive Autosport, new team in USF 2000 this year. He's been holding his own, top 5, top 10s, but he's been dealing with some issues in this here and there, and I think this win's going to really settle him down mentally, and I think Oliver Askew's got some competition coming for the second half of the season. So USF 2000 is going to be really interesting come Road America. That's for sure. So, alrighty. Was somebody looking up something? I'm sorry. Greg, were you looking something up? Or
No.
Okay, good. Missy, were you?
No.
Okay. I'm sorry. For some reason, I thought I was stalling for a second. But I don't think I am. Okay, I just want to make sure we got through everything before we started with what we really set David to come up to come on the show tonight with us and have a discussion. Now, he's mentioned a few times that he's a skeptical IndyCar fan, and rightfully so. They've given you a lot of reason to be in the past, but I'm loving the direction. I think Derek Walker came in and put a nice template down, but not the greatest captain of a ship. He's more of a map maker, really. And he was the owner of my favorite sports car team that's no longer racing, the Falcon Tire Porsche and the GTLM class. But then Grand Am came in and destroyed my favorite sports car class or series, the American Le Mans series.
Represent.
Yeah. You agree with me here?
Oh my gosh, I was the biggest ALMS fanboy.
Cool, dude.
I've got all sorts of Muscle Milk stuff all over the place, and
awesome.
Patron stuff, and
Lucas Lohr and what's the other one? Lucas Lohr and
Klaus Graf.
Yep. And hey, I mean, so what if they were the only LMP1 car out there? They celebrated like there was 40.
Hey, you know what? You only need 2 cars to put on a race, and more often than not, when Muscle Milk and Dyson would go at it, they'd go across the line side by side. So
that is true. That is true. And they did have to deal with traffic. So hey, but hey, I mean, let's face it, the GT class or whatever, the GTLM class, whatever Rolex you just turned it into, and just whittled it down and turned it into. But Missy, her number 4 Corvette, that's her baby. Oliver Askew and I'm sorry, Ollie Gavin and Tommy Milner, that's her 2 boys right there, and they're over in France right now, getting ready for the Sarth, 24 hours Le Mans.
Yeah, so, BOP has already come down on them. God damn it.
Yep. BOP
went too fast. Went too fast in the test.
You
got to play that BOP.
Sandbag. Come on.
Do what Ford did. Just completely sandbag on the straights and then get a huge advantage into.
Yeah, Ryan Briscoe, baby. I mean, if anybody knows how to sandbag.
Yeah. Just hire a bunch of Penske guys. They'll know what to do.
Exactly. And Ryan Briscoe is my second favorite driver. And I did get my interview with him at the last Petit Le Mans I went to. So I brag about that all the time.
Oh, I love Petit. One of the greatest races that nobody knows about.
I'll never go there again.
Really?
Screw that.
I guess since a Dippy won it, I guess it's kind of been soiled. But
I'll send you the show, and then
yes, please,
you'll hear
please
why.
Don't have us go through this again.
No.
Oh, I'd love to join the sports car wars. I'll tell you just real quick because I don't want to start this fight. But 2014, yeah, 2014 was rough. That was rough as a guy who liked ALMS. And those first 2 races, man, I was like, wow, this is just the worst thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
I know. Is the GTD class just a joke, or is it just a joke? I mean, So, I mean, Tristan, sorry, he's in there. Sage belongs there.
Whoops.
I'm gonna steer you back to what we're supposed to be talking about.
I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, but screw Road Atlanta. That's all I got to
We're
say.
gonna be talking about IMSA soon, or not IMSA, I should say. Whatever, 24 hours.
WBC.
Yeah. There you go.
The WIC, or I've heard people
WEC.
call it WEC.
WEC.
Yeah. Like, well, really, it'd be the FIA WEC, right? Or the FIAWC, or is it the WC? No, yeah, it's the FIAWC. I see that a lot too with the slash between them. I don't know what they call it, but it's the World Endurance Championship, whatever. But where the the cool cars are. I don't know. I really don't agree with the
Frank.
What? I'm sorry. Okay. Well, yeah. I don't want to make a 2-hour podcast here. I'm sorry, guys. That's it. This ISCP after dark. That's right. All right. Anyway, Greg, you gotta throw it in there every once in a while, buddy. I need you. I need you. You're my ISCP after dark guy. Come on. And you're also my photographer when we go to the tracks, man. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. So, I guess Dave had a case to make against the new body kits.
Boy, did he. And you know what? Now, Missy, your thoughts on the body kit next year?
I like the body kit for the most part. I did agree in the video about the what is it, the road course back wing. I don't like it.
It looks very Formula One.
It looks stupid. I don't like it. I like most of it. Most of it I don't have a problem with. I think it looks sleek but yeah, that back wing, no, I don't like it.
All right, fair enough. Good enough. Greg, your opinion of the new car next year?
As far as the new car, I definitely like it, but I could definitely see where Dave's coming as far as having the difference in body kits as far as competition, because the manufacturers definitely need to be able to get something out of it. And when the only thing you have to play with is the engine, you're not getting as much as you could out of it.
Well, I haven't seen too many single-seater open cockpit cars rolling around the streets, so I don't know what the manufacturers plan to get out of it in the first place, but engine. So I disagree with you there, Greg. Just saying,
like drag reduction and such.
I mean, I can see if Boeing and whatever. Like, I'm trying to come up with names of plane manufacturers here. I know Boeing.
Lockheed Martin.
Thank you. That's another one. Grumman. That's another one. If they're even, or did they go bankrupt? Grumman. I'm sorry, Grumman. I'm saying it wrong. Okay. And whatever. Now, if they made them, I could see where they would get something out of it, but it's official now. Now when Dave made his video, it hadn't gone official. It had just recently gone official, like 2 days ago. Delara will be supplying and
shocking news.
Yeah, I know. Nobody's seen that coming. But the reason they're doing it is to entice more engine manufacturers to come in. Lambo was right on the cusp of signing, and at the very last second, the entire deal fell apart and they walked away. I don't know why, but apparently Lambo's not the only engine manufacturer that they're right on the cusp of signing with. They're right on the cusp of signing with two. But however, Lambo is the only one that's been confirmed as one of the two. The other one, I can tell you, it's not Ford.
No.
That's all I can tell you. I can't tell you who else it is. Well, I can tell you it's not Lotus. Yeah, that was a big. That didn't work. Poor Simona. She really got screwed in that whole deal. Anyway, more than anyone else, I think. But yeah, I don't know who the other engine manufacturer is, but the reason why Delar is going to do it, and the reason why that they're doing it, the main reason is to entice more engine manufacturers, so Chevy and Honda don't have to carry the bulk. So, and we need more engine manufacturers in IndyCar. I mean, the series is getting a lot more stable. For the first time in over 20 years, we have a schedule that we can count on for not just 1 year, but a few years to come. With old tracks that we all love and that we should be at, and and new tracks to come. One being Gateway. Next year, hopefully going abroad to Mexico City, more than likely, at the Oval in Puebla, Mexico. But we could possibly be going to other places as well. But like I was saying, we got to shore up, the tracks here in the U.S. first before we try that, and we have, and we owe a lot of that to Jay Fry. So, what he's doing with this, new car, I personally love it. I think it looks great. It reminds me of the old Indy cars that I grew up loving. I love the open roll hoop. Before this car, I personally, when I think IndyCar, the Indy Lights of the IL-15 comes to my mind, because I think that's one of the most beautiful Formula cars that is being raced right now as we speak. But that'll change once next year comes. However, like I've been alluding to, David has a different opinion altogether. So, without further ado, David, the floor is yours, brother, and go for it, man.
Oh man, I was so excited for this moment. Okay, I do want to walk back comments just a little bit, because I feel like I don't necessarily have a problem with how the car looks. Like you, and like I think most IndyCar fans, I'm definitely one of the people who prefers the Champ Car style look. I think that's something that has been needed for quite a long time. I like the fact that the car has no longer these huge bumpers on it. I like the fact that the sponsor blocker's gone, and I like the fact that the airbox is gone.
I don't want to. I'm sorry, David. I don't want.
No, go on.
I don't want to cut you off real quick, but those big box, the big boxes that you just referenced behind the rear wheels. Pretty much Scott Dixon at the Indy 500 proved they don't work.
Yeah, that was the exact crash that they supposedly were going to prevent. I mean, it was literally what we saw at Las Vegas 2011, where you have a car running over another one at quite a big speed difference. And we saw the same result pretty much. Thankfully, the driver walked away this time. But yeah, it was exactly what we thought, what we feared would or we wanted to prevent, and it didn't. So. Yeah, and we now have visual proof.
Yeah, and I have no problem using the DW12 chassis to do it, because the proof's in the pudding, and Dixon walking away from that crash is just goes to show you the DW12 is a very safe, sturdy tub. Very, it's been the safest car that they've ever had, and also Ryan Briscoe and F. Fontaine a few years back. So, there you go. So I don't mind, that they haven't gotten a new car per se, but as far as I'm concerned, it looks new. So there you go.
Well, that was one of my grievances with it, was the fact that it is kind of a throwback. While I and a lot of other people kind of want to take the time machine back to 1995 and, just kind of start from there.
Oh yeah, Marlboro liveries. I'm all about it.
all the tobacco. I mean, it's amazing to look at those grids back then and think, easily 12 out of 28 cars are fully funded by, tobacco companies back then. It was wild days.
Cigarettes and liquor.
Yep.
Darn right. Now we have neither of them. I guess we have Jim Beam once a year, and Budweiser has like a little small sticker on Graham's car.
We have Fuzzies.
Yeah, and Fuzzies
Fuzzies
selling empty vodka bottles at the track for like $100.
Well, that's the thing I've heard about that Fuzzy sponsorship is that it may not be as much of sponsorship as a lot of people think. It's a lot more, a lot of IndyCar sponsorships are business to business. So you just kind of end up with Fuzzies on there, and they put up some banners at the speedway, and
Yeah, and pretty much any mixed drink you're drinking is Fuzzies.
Yeah. The Holmans buy a lot of Fuzzies. And, you end up with a Fuzzy Sweet and a couple cars in the track sponsored by Fuzzies. But anyway, I think we're kind of going off topic here talking about Fuzzies to get a little fuzzy.
That's
fuzzy
my
in
other
my
show,
head.
way off topic.
I'm glad I plugged you.
Thank you.
But
Shameless plug.
Oh, I'm the king of the shameless plug. But I think my biggest problem, or I guess not my problem, is but like I said, I'm a racing traditionalist, and when I was growing up as a kid, one of the things that inspired me perhaps the most about racing was looking through like an IndyCar racing magazine or looking at an Indy 500 program and reading entry lists where you would look at, like, let's say, for example, the 1995 Indy 500 entry list, right. And you would see that Team Menard had like 6 or 7 cars entered, and a couple of those are 95 Lolas, a couple of them are 93, some of them have the Buick engine, some of them have the upgraded Menard engine. You'd have teams entering stuff from 91, even if it had no shot in heck of making the race. Technical diversity and looking at things like going, okay, the Reynard has the wings that go down and the Lola has the wings that go straight. Things like that inspired me so much as a kid. And other things like engine sounding different. The Menard engine had such a low grumble, and the Cosworths and the Mercedes had such a high pitched scream.
Oh, I love the Mercedes.
Oh yeah, and stuff like that always inspired me. I think it's a lot of the appeal of sports car racing to kind of tie it into the podcast name. Is that technical diversity? You look at IMSA and there's 4 or 5 different chassis manufacturers represented there in the prototype division. I have to ask, why can't that be here? As much as you mentioned Dallara doing such great things for safety, you got to wonder if you got to think that an Oreca or a Ligier could do, if Dallara would be willing to share the safety data, which I'm sure they would be willing to, that they could build equal or perhaps stronger tubs. I don't think safety is necessarily an issue going for more cars, but I'd like to see more variety. I'm kind of, again, as a racing purist, I'm a guy who thinks, you should be able to, maybe not so much Can-Am run what you brung, but there should be certainly less lax or more lax rules in terms of what you can and cannot bring to the track to try to race. I think that would help the entry lists significantly. I know of at least a couple people, one of which actually ended up in the 500 this year.
Michael Shank, right?
No. I was talking about drivers.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I guess James Davis, and I guess I'll just name drop, who had deals but did not have engines. I guess you could say Stephen Wilson is another one that's out there kind of in the public that people know that, he was in and then he was out. If there was some kind of off-the-shelf engine that they could stick in a DW12,
Sure.
But I'm just a fan of. My point is, I like to see those. I like to see the rules opened up. I don't like to see them closed. And getting rid of the aero kits while we're going to get a much more beautiful car, kind of starts moving IndyCar back in the direction of competition cautions and red flags with 3 laps to go, rather than back in the direction of 1995, I guess we could say.
Fair enough. I mean, competition cautions aside, I mean, they did that strictly for,
Oh, I understand that.
Like,
I understand that. I'm just saying I don't want to see that again. I certainly don't want to see it become a trend.
now the red flag, on the other hand, I have to admit, I when it's a good idea, when it's towards the end of the race, I'm not saying throw the red, in the first 50 laps of a 200 lapper or something. But if it's like 10 laps to go and you got like a 9-car pileup or whatever, I can see the red flag, so we can see some green flag racing to the end. Why not? What is it hurting? Now, Indy, if it's the Indy 500, I mean, that's where you get into. I might change my mind a little bit, but throughout the season, at tracks like, say, for instance, Texas, there were so many. You couldn't. You had to red flag it because where were they going to go?
Oh, no. I mean, red flags for safety. Sure. Obviously, that's a no-brainer. I'm talking the green-white checker kind of.
Oh, yeah,
what we saw in Detroit. I don't want to see that happen too much more in IndyCar racing.
Well, I mean, the Detroit red flag, that was almost the same situation, was it not? I mean, because you had, let's see, you had Hinch was a sitting duck in the middle of I don't know what part of the track it was.
It was on the backstretch.
Right. And then at the same time as you got the safety crews getting him off the track, right at the same time, right after that, you got Spigot, and he's pouring smoke and whatever else out of his car, a few turns down. So again, where it's a safety precaution for the safety workers getting the cars off of the track. So that red flag I thought was justified. But throwing a red flag just for the sake of a green flag finish, I'm not really 100% on board with. And I know a lot of people want to see green flag, green flag races to the end. And so do I. But at the same time, I don't want IndyCar to change a whole lot, So when they do it for safety and it works to our benefit, great. But to do it just to throw it in the rule books, to do it every time, no matter what, I don't want to see that.
Well, it's something I said in one of my videos. I kind of compare racing as a sport to boxing, in that sometimes it's going to go 12 rounds and it's going to be decided by a judge. And on the other hand, sometimes you're going to get a first round knockout. But the thing about racing and boxing is that you don't know what the result is going to be until you start the event and run it to its completion. And sometimes you're going to get a yellow flag finish, and sometimes you're going to get a 3-wide, race across the line. That's the reason we watch, right? I mean, trying to manufacture finishes or throwing red flags to try to manufacture that drama to make it happen every week. You start moving into that territory about that other series and you see what they're doing with their TV numbers and their viewership, and I think people are voting with their remotes and their wallets on that one. And I think it's not the direction that certainly IndyCar needs to go. And I think that the reason you see the growth that you do with IndyCar racing these days is because it is more pure racing than a lot of the. I mean, even F1 at this point.
Well,
you get a lot of gimmicks over there.
I mean, F1 is like, I look at F1 and I look at IndyCar. I say F1 is basically car versus car. IndyCar is driver versus driver. I want to see driver versus driver. That's what I'm more interested in. That's why I love IndyCar racing, because it demands the best and the talented, the most talented racers out there who can race at 220 miles an hour side by side and not do what TK did every wreck at Texas tonight. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, no, I completely understand what you're saying. And that's to me perfect. I mean, again, this is me personally. To me, the perfect balance in racing is where it's 50% car, 50% driver.
Sure.
Because I think that engineering part of it is part of the allure. You know, you go through the annals of history in racing, and you talk about the Brian Redmonds, you talk about the Mark Donahues, but you also talk about the Porsche 917s that they drove.
It's my baby.
Well, see, there you go. You talk about AJ Foyt, you talk about the Roadsters, you talk about let's think of a more recent example. You talk about Gilles de Ferran, you talk about that Reynard that he set the 241 mile an hour lap at Fontana in. You talk about these guys because of the cars they drove. They were, amazing drivers, but they also piloted these incredible cars that in a lot of ways were designed specifically for them. That's a cool part of racing, and that's something I worry that we're going to lose one of these days. I mean, you even look at Formula E, which is supposedly a developmental league, and most of the car is spec. It's like, come on, man.
Can you call it a car at this point, or a wing with wheels?
Well, the new one definitely. It
boy.
still looks kind of open wheel, the one they've got now, but it is what it is. Modern racing does leave a lot to be desired for a purist. I would say that.
Yeah, I mean, because Greg has asked it, Missy has asked it, I've asked it. Like, is there something we're missing? Because it has not drawn me in at all. I couldn't care less it exists.
I think it has a lot of it. It's not the way I would have done it for sure. I kind of look at Formula E as something that they could have really reinvigorated racing in the sense that, hey, we can go back to, the 1930s in terms of, where we are with this technology. We can really do some cool, crazy, innovative things. And, we're not there. What we're doing is we're not even really pushing the technology in Formula E, at least from my perspective. I think that's a lot of the problem, is that you got them changing cars in the middle of the race to finish. It's not even. Yeah,
it blows my mind that the car you start in is not the car you finish the race in. I'm like, that statement right there, and I'm like, oh, I'm out.
Well, again, it's pushing the technology. Sorry, Greg. I'll let you finish right after I get this rant out of the way. Because it's something I've always had a problem with Formula E. It's like it almost feels like a series that's designed just so the FIA can race in places like Berlin, where they can't host a Formula One street race because of noise regulations. It feels like that to me sometimes. But go on, Greg. I want to hear what you have to say.
Well, I mean, I was just going to say, you have this new series, and it's a completely new concept of racing where you could have just said, okay, here's how far you have to go, and you have to fit within these boxes, but do whatever you can to get there. And instead, everything is, okay, this has to be exactly this has to be exactly that. And it's a spec series where everyone's in the same thing, and like you say, the technology's not free to go crazy. It's all, okay, here it is, go drive it.
And can we just talk about the farce that is Fan Boost real quick? I cannot believe how ludicrous that is. Oh, God, it's one of my biggest triggers about Formula E.
They still do it?
Oh, yeah. I cannot believe they allow Twitter to determine how fast a race car goes.
I think I did it once.
Oh, man.
That's like giving an IndyCar driver extra push to pass just because they're popular.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and the same guys win it all the time because it's like the cute guy. It's like D'Ambrosio or whatever because all the girls
a popularity
who win
contest.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He is sexy.
Yeah, all the girls like him. So girls naturally use Twitter, and guess who wins Fan Boost? D'Ambrosio.
Twitter's not just for girls, dude.
Not
Twitter's
just
awesome.
for girls, but
Twitter is awesome.
Well, Frank, have you ever voted for Fan Boost?
Yeah.
Once.
Wait, you've actually voted for Fan Boost?
Yeah, about 3 years ago.
Oh man, I may have done it as a joke once.
When it first came out, when everybody was talking about it, yeah, I did it once.
Oh, who'd you vote for?
Ex-IndyCar drivers.
Oh well, there you go. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Get our own over. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't tell you who they were though.
I know Serbia used to do it.
I
I think Serbia was a part of the Dragon team for a while, but
I think
Yeah.
Silvestro did a few races.
Simona's still there. No, she's not. She got
She's
got
in-
sacked. That's right.
Yeah,
she's in
She's in
V8s now.
supercars now.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever V8 calls themselves now. Yeah, I still can't ever get that right. You know, I'm gonna call it V8 forever. But I don't know. Does anybody know what they're really called? They're not V8.
It's like Supercars Championship now too, because I think they're
That's what it
changing
is.
the regulations that everything doesn't have to be a V8 anymore. I think I remember hearing something like that.
You know, and I really wish that they would give in and change the date to Surfers Paradise so IndyCar would go there, because that's the only thing holding IndyCar back from going to Surfers Paradise is the schedule. And
Well, and the fact that they're like, we don't want to go up against the NFL. It's like, come on. A race at 2 a.m. at Surfers Paradise is really big. The TV rating's really going to be affected by the NFL at 2 a.m. Come on.
Anyone
Well,
watching that's not
yeah,
going to take it from the NFL.
well, I mean, IndyCar wants to do it in February, so I mean, but Surfers Paradise, the supercars, they race it like October, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't like what is our winter kind of like their late summer? So I think it's
Yeah.
like their endurance championship at that point. I think it's weird how Supercars runs their stuff, because they have like an endurance side of the season and then they have like a sprint race side of the season. It's really weird how they do things over there. It's almost like it's upside down.
I really wish they would like start airing supercars here again, like live, because that's some of the most just intense road racing I've ever seen. You know, they're bumper to bumper like through the entire track. It's insane.
Well, if we had Speed Channel, but
I know.
no, we got Fox Sports 1, another generic stick and ball channel. That's because that's what the world needs, folks. We need another ESPN.
I mean, literally, IMSA last year at Indianapolis, 33,000 people watched it. That doesn't even register a 0.1 on the rating scale.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. But nobody has Fox Sports 2, so well, what are you going to do? Anyways. But, you know, we have beaten that horse to death, right, Missy?
Yep.
And we still will keep beating the same horse to death until it changes, because it's ridiculous. I mean, we have Comcast, one of like the biggest cable providers in the area, and we do not have a Fox Sports 2. It's mind-boggling.
What did that channel used to be? Did it used to be like some motocross channel or something like that? It used to be something like they killed the channel like they did with Speed to get Fox Sports 2.
Wasn't it like extreme sports or something? It was like mountain biking and skateboarding and surfing.
But it was a weird name. It was like Fuel Channel or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
Fuel
it was-
TV.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yep. Yeah, and it had like those shows, like the guy that tears an old truck down and shows you all the parts he puts on it. You know, because we all have a very clean and wide open garage with lifts everywhere, and you know, brand new Snap-on tools to do anything we want. Right.
Boy, I tell you, I lament the loss of Speed almost daily. Believe me, I cry in my sleep over it. But you know, you think about a lot of the shows that they put on Speed in the last like 5 or 6 years. I mean, I will never forgive Fox Sports for cutting Wind Tunnel back to 30 minutes so they could play like more Pinks all out. It's like, come on, man.
I hated that show.
It's ridiculous.
I hated that bald guy. I was always hoping for, like, you know, a car to just kind of like veer off and take him out with his stupid arms. Screw his arms.
Yeah, well, what was funny was that like he would start the race like old school style, man. This is street race, and there'd be like a full tree behind him. It's like, just use the tree.
I know, exactly. It's just like, how exact is this really? I mean, because come on, I mean, it's just just stop.
They kept adding to the show to try to get it to go. Like,
Yeah,
they give people, you could start farther up on the track because you've got such and such going on. And
Oh no! Oh, he didn't drain his radiator and put water in. We got a problem. Who cares? So happy that.
I could be wrong, but I think there was one episode where a guy was almost getting down the track too fast, and he was going to be disqualified or something.
Oh yeah, he was sandbagging it or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they can tell that or something by whatever they were. I don't know. Oh, and yeah, and everything was kind of like dictated by sticky notes on a cork board. Okay,
But it's real street racing, man.
They
even
make
though it's on a fully
computers now,
sanctioned.
guys. You know, there's this thing called a laptop. You know, like Jesus. You know, you're only shooting the freaking show with a high def camera. But let's use sticky notes to never mind. I'm moving on from that.
So anyway.
Yep. Oh. But yeah.
It's too bad Mav TV didn't take off.
You know, I will say, if you get Mav TV, there's some like Speed Vision level stuff on there. Like they will.
I heard Motor Trend is something to really get look into.
Is it an actual channel or is it like streaming?
It's online.
It's streaming. It's like I have it. I forget how much I pay for it, but
Greg, you're the one who talks about it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you literally almost all of the European series from WEC to I think it's like Porsche Cup or something,
and like F4, F3, GP2, all the 47 ladder series to F1.
Get the Pirelli World Challenge.
Which, and not for nothing, we have to give a hurrah and kudos to IndyCar for really embracing social media, and because we haven't had the access that we've had, to all of IndyCar's practices and qualifying and everything else, that we have had this season because of social media and everything. I think it's been great, Oh,
and another thing, as a YouTuber, it's great that they don't strike people who use IndyCar footage or IndyCar, even like, because F1 is really bad about that, or at least used to be. I think they've kind of laxed their policies a little bit since Liberty Media took over, but they're very, very nice to us YouTubers. They don't try to take us down.
Unfortunately, the content just really isn't, it's F1.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I'll tell you, there are some good F1 YouTubers out there. Couple of guys. I'll give a shout out. Friggin', can I?
Sure.
Yeah, a guy named Cook Productions. Cook Productions 1. He does some really funny videos. He actually does a few Indy 500 videos. Which I starred in, or not starred in one, but I guest starred in one. Yeah, he does some really good. He reviews them in kind of like a humorous way. It's pretty good stuff. I would suggest watching it.
Right on. Definitely take a look. I mean, and something happened with YouTube just recently. They lost a lot of sponsors.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, I cannot believe
my wallet's still hurting.
Yeah, I cannot believe they will not fix their view counter. That's ridiculous. Because a lot of people depended on that number. It's just a shame. And and that's why I asked you on, because I hope you get some more subs out of this. And what's the name of your channel?
David Land, just my name. DAVIDLAND. 9 letters, very easy. It's got a nice purple logo.
Yep. Hit subscribe.
Plenty of IndyCar stuff on there.
Hit subscribe and click that bell so you know when a new video is, thrown out there. Because why would the subscribe do that for you?
Yeah, right. It's you don't want to subscribe to that, says YouTube. Please let us show you the videos we want to show you.
Yeah, it's like subscribing's not enough. You also have to click the bell. Why? Like it's almost like if somebody wanted to listen to our show, they go on iTunes or Podbean or Stitcher or RedDragonsRadio.com or the 50 other podcatcher apps that are out there that we're on that I don't know the names to, but we're on there too. And it's like okay, I want to listen to these guys. Let me hit subscribe, and then let me hit download, and then let me put in a password. And it's like, why are you making it so difficult to watch people's videos? I don't understand it. So that's why that's kind of another reason I did ask you on, because and my other show, we have some YouTubers coming on that we talk about the same stuff too. So trying to merge the two worlds, I think, is trying to help you guys out, and like sites like Patreon exist now out there, and a lot of YouTubers are using that to kind of.
I actually do have one.
Do you? Oh, right on.
I do have one. Yeah.
We want to promote it.
Yeah, sure. Just again, David Land. I've got it linked in my videos. So if you're feeling generous, I generally don't push my viewers on that one. It's truly just like a donate button. So if you come over, check my content out, and you like it, consider kicking in some Patreon. But if not, I appreciate your viewership all the same. Because
Definitely,
again,
I definitely recommend the IndyCar 2005 series, because Land Speed Racing seems to be having a good year this year.
we didn't have a very good Texas.
I seen that one.
we kind of took the Tony Kanaan strategy a little bit there at Texas, but I think once we get to the short tracks, I'll be pretty good, because that's like, as a kid, I know life the short tracks in those IndyCar games. I think short oval racing is just maybe my favorite thing in all of IndyCars, because it's just so cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wish iRacing would, kind of try to bring back the old tracks, but how do you laser scan a track that doesn't exist anymore?
Well, you just do here's the thing about sim racing. I mean, especially if the track doesn't exist anymore, who cares if it's accurate? Does it race good? Is it kind of enough like the old track?
You know what? Good point.
Here's the thing I will say about iRacing. Can I just pay a gosh darn fee and just buy it already? Just buy some. I don't care if it's $300. Can I just buy it and just have it? It's so annoying that they make you pay a subscription for that.
It's
just like, it's
$15.
a pain. It's a pain.
It's $15 for a year.
For a year?
Really?
Oh, that was like $15 a month.
No, it's a year.
Yeah, I did too.
What?
Well, they need to get that message out a little bit more.
Well, see, where they make the money is the cars and the tracks when you start to license up. See, what iRacing is, like, because I know Greg does Project Cars on PlayStation and all that.
Oh, I love Project Cars.
And then, Forza is on, they got, and then you got Gran Turismo and all that. The thing is, you got all those idiots that love to just sit at the start-finish line and crash everybody, right? And that's really what brought me to iRacing, because iRacing, that number one, they'll kick you off the server and ban you if you even attempt to do that. And number two, you can only level up and license up by learning how to race and not crashing and having clean laps and consistent whatever. And once you get those licenses, that you get away from those guys that just like to crash people, right? So, and then now you don't have to worry about the idiots in the police car liveries sitting at the start finish lines.
Boy, that is so true.
I know. It drove me nuts to the point of saying, screw you Xbox, screw you PlayStation, I'm going to iRacing now, and I'm going to buy a wheel and learn to use that instead of a joystick.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I do have a G27 sitting down. I usually use it for R Factor though. I do quite enjoy putting a full field of like Kart Factor 98 or the most recent mod that's kind of come out for that, which is Kart 1988, and just putting like a full field on Nazareth and doing a 50 lap race. That's always fun.
Right on. And what drove me nuts, it's like, they made this game for you guys called Need for Speed. It's like, why don't you go there and do it? It's kind of geared for that kind of stuff. Or the Wii is relatively cheap, and there's Mario Kart, and you can shoot red shells. It's cool, and banana peels, right, Missy?
Sorry, what was that?
Yep, she's checked out, guys.
I'm sorry. The adrenaline's gone. The alcohol's, starting to affect a little bit. So yeah.
yeah, Missy.
Oh, I didn't know we were pre-gaming this. I should have pre-gamed.
No.
Oh, I drank during the middle of the race.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The
gotcha.
race-
I had to have a drink. I mean,
And that was probably
multiple
the
ones
first,
actually.
Yeah, that was the first time Missy's had any alcohol in her since when? New Year's?
Oh boy.
Yeah, we don't drink hardly ever. I'm allergic to it myself, but but Missy hardly ever drinks. And this race, Texas literally
Drove you to drink. Huh?
Yeah, it did.
There you go.
Because I was
Forget
crazy.
the beer. I went straight to the hard stuff.
Yeah, she went right for the freaking Hennessy, right?
No,
Oh, my Lord.
I gotta
What,
see.
SoCo?
No, I did Fireball.
Oh, okay.
There you go. There you go.
Right on.
It was Fuzzies because Fuzzies
Soft
was,
Yeah,
water
no,
here was
Fuzzies,
all-
yeah.
awesome.
it was all Fuzzies.
Yeah, nothing but fuzzies in this.
Gotta plug
house.
the sponsors.
We do. Missy does have a fuzzies bottle over there in her studio there. Yeah, I mean I bought it empty for her, but it's still there.
Oh, none of the good stuff then. Wow.
No, I'm not gonna buy alcohol, but I'll buy the bottle. The bottles, well, the bottle's from the 100th Indianapolis bottle, so cool.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's a collector's edition. It's a collector's edition. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, well, because so Monza, right? Monza's in iRacing, and that big, almost 3-mile oval that, like, I think has the record for the most deaths.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
there's no walls. It's just basically the track is one big wall. Because it's just it's like half of a U or whatever. They put that oval in the game, and that's a lot of fun. Don't do it as a series because you'll lose a lot of points. I mean, if you have an A license by the end of the week, you'll be back to a rookie because you can't finish that race because everybody crashes. Because it turns into how fast can I hit that wall and shoot up into the air. It's fun.
Well, that's just literally the Grand Prix crash, right? From the movie.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But what are you gonna do? But that's what drove me to iRacing. To be honest with you. And yeah, it's great. Love it.
I'll have to try it. I don't know if my system will handle it, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, there's a lot of things you can change to get your frame rate up. And your frame rate only has to be about 45 to 50 for it to be nice and crisp. You just got to get rid of all the stands and pretty much everything else. Just the track and the cars. And you'll be fine.
That's all you really need in the end of the day.
Oh, I wish I put it this way. I wish I knew more about computers when I bought my desktop, but I hate Windows now. I'm an Apple guy now. But what are you gonna do? And that's the game that pretty much taught me about computers because it showed me how much I hate mine. because my computer I can't replace the graphics card because it's built into the motherboard, so I can't change it. So what are you gonna do? Anyway, moving on. Boring people, racing. Okay. All right. So basically, we all love the new car. You have a whole ton of a lot of problems. I fully, urge people to check out David Lamb's YouTube channel. Like I said, it's about 6-7 minutes. He goes into detail of the differences and everything. And me personally, I think this year's car with the error kits on and everything, they look terrible. They're ugly. Some liveries do kind of cover up the ugliness of them, but other liveries, oh boy, do they show just how really bulky and ridiculous some of the car really looks. Hondas are worse than Chevys, I think, with that kind of like flat back, almost fake shark fin for the cowling over the engine there. But what are you gonna do? And that's why I'm just so excited for next year's car to come. But you make a lot of really good points about the new car and everything. And and I'm guessing you're not a fan of spec racing, obviously.
No, I mean I'm not, but it's fine. And like you said, you guys are big Monster Road Indy people. I think that's the place where you want to have spec cars, right? You want the drivers
sure.
to really truly shine through there. But once you get up in the ranks, you kind of want to see some engineering too. I think I kind of got, to make the joke about my own videos, I kind of got red-pilled on spec racing around 2006 when everybody ended up with the Honda engines. I was like, oh, this is going to be great.
Spec. Yeah.
Yeah, I was really excited about it when I was a kid. I'm like, oh, great. All Panther Racing no longer is being saddled with Chevy engines. Oh, great. Penske no longer is being saddled with the Toyotas. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And then I realized about, probably into 2007, 2008, oh, wait a second. Penske and Ganassi has the same thing that Sam Schmidt Motorsports has and Hemmelgarn Racing has and all these teams at the back of the grid. What all that's done is kind of separated the haves from the have-nots even more, because the haves sometimes make the bad choice on engines or chassis or aero kits or what have you. And again, that kind of helps mix up the field a little bit. But when everybody has the same thing, sometimes you get a little bit of that monotony that we kind of want to avoid in racing, because racing's best when it's unpredictable, and
right.
You kind of want to keep some unpredictability. That's kind of the problem I have with spec racing, is that it runs the risk of becoming predictable.
Fair enough. But see, I would argue that IndyCar, and especially next year, with all the cars are going to look pretty much the same, but there's going to be so many different things that you can change. There will be at least 1 to 2 more engine manufacturers. So we are going to see 4 engines out there next year, hopefully. I'm pretty certain that Mazda, if I had to guess, would be the other engine manufacturer that is like right on the cusp of being announced as the third engine manufacturer for next year, because it just makes sense. They do the 3 ladder series. Why aren't they in IndyCar? It just makes sense for them to be in IndyCar. Lambo, I'm glad they're not. To be honest with you, when I heard it was Lambo and that they walked away, I was like, oh, thank God.
It has a lot of makings of a new Lotus situation, if I'm being frank on that one.
Hey, I was totally David on that one, man.
A little skeptical, huh?
Very. I was like, yep, feels like Lotus. We dodged a bullet on that one. Lambo's just like a fake Ferrari. That's all. So.
Well, I will tell you this: it's going to be very tough for anybody, as a third manufacturer, even a fourth manufacturer, to come in and be competitive. This formula has been around, and we're talking straight engines now. I mean, you don't even have the variable of the aero kits anymore. You've got this formula, and these engines have been developed and had millions and millions of dollars poured into them by Chevrolet and Honda over the last 5-6 years. For somebody to come in and be competitive without a major formula change is going to be very, very difficult. So I think a lot of, we did hear that the aero kits died as kind of a one less deterrent for a new manufacturer to come in. But at the same time, there's that big development curve that they're going to have to overcome. And as we see with Honda and F1, when you jump in, sometimes you drown.
Oh my God, they have, and spectacularly, I might add.
Oh, definitely.
And
or Mazda and IMSA. I mean, how long have they been around? And they still have reliability issues. So,
True.
Some people are going to struggle. I mean, it's a big proposition, and you think that these manufacturers haven't thought of that? I mean, it's really hard. And then who's gonna run those engines? What teams are going to jump off of a Chevy or Honda, a proven engine, to go to Lamborghini or Mazda? I question that too.
Well, I mean, there is a lot of new teams that are coming aboard next year. Carlin. Definitely Harding. I think with Gabby, that's almost like given by now.
But you think that Harding would jump away from a Chevy motor to try take a gamble on a Lamborghini or a Mazda?
Who knows? I mean, I can't answer that question because, not for other. I mean, any engine manufacturer that comes into a new series, they're going to have to expect some growing pains, right? Just like Honda kind of expected it. Now, Honda's had plenty of time, boatloads of cash, the two best drivers in the world, and they still can't. They still can't score a point throughout 3 seasons. What they scored 3 or 4 points over since
it has
since
not been many.
Yeah, I mean, more times than not. I don't even think Fernando Alonso really has to work out anymore because he gets enough of a workout, walking back to the paddock from whatever turn he, did, just the car fails at,
Yeah.
I really think that's why Jenson Button retired when he did, before his contract was up, because he was tired of racing it, And I think that was the big reason why Fernando did the 500, because he was just, I think Honda really beat him down. I mean, he's just miserable over there.
Yeah.
But I mean, Ferrari is, I guess it's Ferrari's turn now, and Mercedes is kind of taking a little back step. I mean, okay, Hamilton's won how many races, Missy? 1 or 2? 1, I think, right? Or 2?
Don't know. Don't care.
Okay, fair enough. But F1's a perfect example of, if you go way too far away from spec, you're going to end up with that, and that's just boring racing. But as far as spec goes, when it's all too much the same, like when it was Honda, I mean, it was just, who can brave the, taking more trim off, and hopefully it'll stick, or something like that. But when you have more engines, I would say it's not a spec series anymore, because there's a lot of variables to the car, but it still can be any driver, whether it's the big teams like Penske, Ganassi, or the smaller teams like the one-car teams like Graham, Ray Hall, and what he did in Detroit and all that, and what Sebastian Bourdais did in St. Pete, stuff like that. So and that's exciting, and that's what's been going on the last couple of years. And that's just with having 2 engines, And I would say having 2 engines doesn't make IndyCar spec anymore.
Oh, no, I agree with you. It's not spec, but it is a very narrow box. In fact, IndyCar narrowed that box a couple of years ago. We actually had some fairly varied engines the first couple of years of this formula, where you had a single turbocharged Honda engine and a twin turbocharged Chevrolet, and
Sure.
IndyCar changed the rules that everybody has to use a twin turbo now. So, I
didn't agree with it.
Oh, I agree. I mean, if
I would have just said, okay, Honda, you can use a bigger turbo.
Well, the thing is, it's like, I wish we would, in a perfect world, if we're going to have engine competition, I wish it was like how Group C used to be, where it was like, okay, this is the engine capacity you can use. This is how much fuel you can use. You can get there however you want to get there. I think it's how WEC does P1 at the moment. Is they give them fuel, they give them displacement, but it's up to the manufacturer to choose how they get there with their cylinders and their displacement and their horsepower, and their hybrid systems there, but not here yet.
Do you think the whole Audi departure is really going to hurt WEC a lot?
I think it may have been a wake-up call. I think it's one of those things where you go, okay, we're looking pretty good right now. We've got 3 top class manufacturers that are all pretty competitive with one another.
What was it,
and then
Toyota, Porsche, and Audi, right?
Yeah, an Audi, and then you lose one, which brought 3 cars to Le Mans every year, except for last year when Dieselgate happened, of course. You lose that, and then suddenly your P1 class is down to 5 cars, 6 at Le Mans because Toyota's bringing another one. But
isn't ESM there this year? Patron?
No, the only American team in the prototype ranks, I believe, is WeatherTech. They're the only Riley and they're in P2. I think that's the one.
That's another. I don't want to go down that road. Okay, that's another long road. I don't want to go down again because that's another horse I've beaten to death. Thanks for taking LMP1 away from us. Great.
Yeah, no, believe me, you'll get me. See, I even go back to the point where ALMS was stupid because they in 2009 when they lost Porsche and Audi. They decided to go to the European rules and split P1 and P2 so they wouldn't race each other anymore. And they ended up having 2 3-car races every day instead of a 6-car race for the overall. But What do I know?
Hey, I mean, that's why Sebring and Daytona and Watkins Glen was just such a event, because it actually enticed the European teams to come over, you know?
Oh, yeah. That was fun. Those were fun days. Yeah. Those were fun days because, as much as it's probably good for the teams that they have stability and they know who's going to be there week in and week out, boy, it was fun to find out if Rebellion was showing up or if Audi Sport was showing up or, Aston Martin's going to bring one of their Lolas over to Sebring or Petit. Man, those were some fun days. But, It is what it is now.
Yeah, I mean, that's I went to Sebring the last year of American Le Mans just so I can see the Audis for the last time on American soil. Well, I mean, they come to Dakota, but that's
Dakota might as well be a European track.
Well, no, it's just 110 degrees when they race. I ain't going there.
Well, yeah.
Sorry. You won't catch me in Texas in, was it August? Yeah.
I don't remember. They moved the date around, I think, a little bit on that race.
Oh, Texas is hot in October?
Yeah, Texas is hot most of the year, as far as I know.
But I'm a huge advocate of IndyCar going to Dakota. I think they need to. And I think they need to call Eddie Gossage's bluff. And after this race, oh boy, do they need to.
Yeah.
I don't think Eddie has any cards to play anymore.
No.
Because there's 10 other Texases we can go to now because we got Jay Fry in our corner now. I mean, that's how we got Watkins Glen back, and thank goodness we did, and I'm sure you're happy about it too, since you're closer than we are, and we're happy.
Yes, I have. I got to go to Watkins Glen last year, and it was. You were there. Yep. It's a hell of a circuit. It's cool. I don't like it quite as much as I like Road Atlanta. I know for whatever reason you don't like Road Atlanta now, but
I'll send you the show. You'll know why.
Fire ants everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Oh, let me tell you. Yeah, Georgia Clay, you will ruin your shoes going to Road Atlanta. So take shoes you don't want to wear anymore because you will ruin them if you go there. But yeah. As a circuit, I think I like Road Atlanta a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, that one downhill onto the straightaway is cool, but it rained. It's always raining. Freaking.
Well, it didn't rain
there.
The first year I went was 2011. Like you, I kind of wanted to see the last race of the American Le Mans series. Well, that wasn't the last race of the American, but that was. No. Everybody kind of knew the writing was on the wall at that point. That WEC was going to tell IMSA to go, take a long walk off a short pier. So it was like, this is going to be the last time we're going to get to see the Peugeots, the Audis, and the Aston Martins race on a quote unquote real racetrack, to not use a Kyle Busch thing. Not a Tilka Dome. How about that? With all the runoff and whatnot. Herman Tilke, the guy who designed all the F1 circuits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what you call them, Tilka Domes or whatever.
Oh, I know.
Tilka Dromes.
Yeah.
You haven't heard that?
No.
Wow. Yeah, that's what everybody calls the modern F1 circuits that are like all, runoff everywhere. Like no Bahrain. Trees. Yeah. Bahrain. Yeah. Russia.
What, Sochi? Don't get me started.
Sochi. Yeah, that's a Tilkodrome right there.
Fair enough. Now I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. They need more like Silverstones, or
Yeah.
like Nürburgrings. Yeah.
Or go back to Adelaide.
Yeah. Or even like more Interlagos maybe. Yeah.
Go back to Indy, please.
Yes.
One of my biggest regrets ever was not seeing F1 at Indy. I feel so bad about not doing that. In
That was
retrospect,
awesome.
don't remind me.
Sorry, I went
Why
to
they
almost
hated
all
it
of
so
them.
much?
So.
I don't know.
Oh, V10's coming full speed around backwards turn one. Oh my god, that's just
but then flip it. Now you're getting, modern day F1 at India.
I mean, I'd still go. I'd still go. It'd still be worth going. It wouldn't be
Yeah.
as thrilling, but it'd still be F1.
Yes, it will, and we all know who will win.
Yeah. It'll be
Yeah.
a red car or a silver car. Just flip a coin.
For sure.
I guess it's better than last year where it was just like, oh, will it be Nico or will it be Lewis?
Well, I mean, Nico won it just by never turning when someone
Yeah,
tried to pass
yeah.
him.
Just knocked Lewis. I mean, he took the Tony Kanaan strategy to heart. Or maybe we can call it the Nico strategy. I don't know.
I think Tony just claimed it tonight.
Yeah, he definitely claimed it.
Poor Tony. I did not see this coming.
Yeah, of all the people.
Yeah.
It's like he's taking. You know what? I bet Charlie Kimball's sitting in his
I was
garage
just saying.
right now, going, yeah, "Hell yeah! I'm glad Tony took that moniker away from me for at least for a little while."
It's now Chuck Kanan. Anyways, all right. So, anyways, I think we've, I think we've run out of things to talk about.
Yeah, we've gone for a while. We've talked about literally everything. It's now almost 4 a.m.
I mean, these weekend shows, they're sporadic. We don't plan on them too much, but like I said, before every race on Thursday, for Indy Rivals, Low Down for the Showdown, presented by Missy Links. Count on that. And every Tuesday night,
No, you can't.
yes, we can. One race that that I did great at is we're definitely keeping it. You kidding? And now renaming it Low Down for the Showdown, presented by Frank Links. Yeah, I'm kidding. But at any rate, ICP Rivals, Public Leagues. Yep, and our main show, of course. Haven't missed a week, and this week, Missy was 134, I believe, coming up.
Sounds good.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So, David, thank you for coming on, man. It's been very interesting talking with you, man.
Dude, thank you so much for having me. This was really fun. I quite enjoyed it. So if you want to have me back anytime, I'd love to come on.
Oh, definitely, man, definitely. And Greg, as always, don't stop taking your heart medication. And I hope your hip feels better after you had it replaced.
No, don't worry, Frank. My next 100, you'll be just like on my last.
Nice. Real quick, Road America. You gonna be there, Greg?
No, I can't make it that weekend.
Boo.
Yeah, that's what I say.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a great event. Anyway, so looking forward to that, and I guess that is the next event for IndyCar, right, Missy?
Yes.
Right on. And
2 weeks.
Yep. So if you guys are in the Indianapolis area and you want some racing in your life, make your way over to IMS and catch a good Trans Am race, because the TA2 class is a great class, Trans Am. And hopefully Jordan will be there racing the number 77, so go support our buddy Jordan. So, all right, and Missy, I think on that note.
And on that note, you know that I know that Frank, I guess he knows something. Greg knows. Dave might know too, you know?